Hello, everybody. I'm back. How are you guys doing today? I hope you all are doing well. What is today? On this Saturday. I hope you all are doing really well. Okay. I meant to do this video. Ow. Sorry. Meant to do this video last night. But I fell asleep. Okay. Yeah, nothing dramatic. I just fell asleep. But anyways, so I'm back this morning and I've got my notes all prepared. Because I've been getting really scatterbrained lately. So I'm just trying to keep the flow consistent. Okay. Now, let's get into this. James B. Comey. Now, just recently. In case you guys don't know who Alex. Alex. Why did I say Alex? Not Alex. I mean, James Comey. In case y'all don't know, I know a lot of you do. I mean, I think if most people were even just awake back then in 2017, you know that he is the FBI director that Trump, fired, his first year in office on his first term. He's the one who was supposed to be investigating the Clinton emails. Right, I know, I've done a couple videos on those. But he was the one who was supposed to be investigating the Clinton emails. And then suddenly, just put a stop to it, claim the investigation was over, just out of nowhere, without even consulting the, what's her name? Loretta Lynch. Whatever her role is. He was supposed to, I can't remember what her role was, but he was supposed to consult her, never did. He just comes out and says, investigation's over. No really reason why to end the investigation with all this proof. I know CNN, well, we'll get into that in a minute because they're still lying about it, but okay. But before I get a little bit more into that, I meant to say, okay, recently, on Thursday, just this 2 days ago, just last Thursday, Comey posted an Instagram post, right? A lot of people were shocked. He posted a picture of these seashells on a beach, and they spelled out the number 8647. And he faced immediate backlash. Why is that? Why did he face immediate backlash? Well, because a lot of people believe, and there is a lot of reason to believe this. See, that number isn't just like a random number. It wasn't just a random number. And James Comey knew this. He knew it wasn't just a random number. In fact, the number 86 has historically always meant to get rid of something. It only just recently started to mean to kill. But it's meant since the early 20s, to get rid of or to throw. It was, the number 86 has been symbolic for a very long time on to throw something away or to get rid of something. So, and the number 47 represents the number Donald Trump was the 47th president. So, it's bullcrap that he didn't know what that number meant. If he didn't know what it meant, he wouldn't have posted it. That's just my opinion. But anyways, immediately Kristi Noem, Secretary of DHS, has come out and said that she's going to investigate Mr. Comey because of this Instagram, and as she should. I mean, whether or not you like our current president, I mean, especially a president who has actually faced assassination attempts multiple times, it's not really a funny joke. Whether you like the president or you don't like the president, why would a former executive federal employee be calling for the assassination of our current president? It's very extreme. It's very odd. I don't know what world we live in. If any single one of us U.S. citizens had posted something like that, we'd be in jail so quick our heads would be spinning. So, but I don't know. I guess, these people, these deep state agents just truly believe they're above the law. They still do. But anyways, I mean, what does this have to do with the Diddy trial? A lot, actually. His daughter is the prosecutor, and we'll get into that in a minute. And if you guys remember my, I don't know if it was my last video, it was one of my recent videos. I talked about how Suge Knight had said that Trump would pardon Diddy if Diddy was convicted. And that, it struck me as very odd. Why would he say that? Like, why would Suge Knight be presumed to talk for Donald Trump? And not even say he might pardon him. He's saying he will pardon him. It doesn't have anything to do with it. I don't know. I don't know what the hell is going on. But they're saying everything but the truth, apparently. Okay, so let me get into the background of James Comey for a minute before we get into some of the curious things that I've been thinking about and that other people have pointed out. Okay, James Comey, right? Who is he? Back in the day, he is from... Wait, where's his... Okay, here we go. He was born December 14th, 1960 in Yonkers, New York. He was... his full name is James Bryan Comey Jr. His father is James Bryan Comey Sr. He comes kind of from a relatively humble background, it seems. His father was a real estate professional. And his mother, and it's weird because his article, it doesn't say his mother worked. Or it doesn't say, like, his mom was no. His mom worked as a computer consultant. But, I mean, I guess back then in the 60s, computers, I guess, weren't as big of a thing as they were going to become. So I'll let that little comment slide. Okay. In the early 70s, him and his family moved to Allendale, New Jersey, where he attended Northern Highlands Regional High School. And then when he graduated, he went on to attend the oldest college in the United States, College of William and Mary in Williamsburg. His major, which I found interesting, is religion and chemistry. He's a science guy. Like, maybe one little thing I can relate to him on. I love science. But it was interesting. I didn't know he majored in chemistry. But he did. But don't worry. He went on, after he got his 4-year degree, he went on to, he got his 4-year degree in 1982. He went on to the University of Chicago Law School and earned his Juris Doctor in 1985. Okay. And he claims that when he was a teenager, him and his brother were held at gunpoint during a home invasion, and that's what, like, inspired him to study, like, I guess, law. Because I'm not sure, like, what degree if he got a criminal justice degree, if he got, like, I don't know. If he took the bar, I don't know. It doesn't say. But... okay, so he got his doctorate in 1987. Finished graduating the University of Chicago, right? 1987. Important year. 1987, okay? Then, sorry. I got the dates wrong. He got his doctorate in 85. Sorry. Got his doctorate in 85. 2 years later, in 87. 2 years later, without transition, without building up to it, he's suddenly the assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. 2 years after he graduates. And he gets to, like, prosecute high-profile people. Like, John Gambino and others. So, like, wow. Not many people, regardless of what their degree is, can transition so fast into, like, what they... like, usually people got to do, like, grunt work for a little while. You know what I mean? Like, especially, like, when you're done with college. I mean, like, usually, like, usually, most degrees, you need to spend a few years doing some grunt work first. Like, they don't just give you, like, these honors, like, when you're fresh out of college, fresh baby-faced out of college. So that's a little weird. I mean, who knows? I don't know. maybe in that 2 years they considered his experience enough. I don't know. But the Southern District of New York, I wouldn't think would exactly be the easiest place to... And it's not like he was just a paralegal. He was like the assistant U.S. attorney. Well, he does that job for 14 years. And then in 2001, he becomes the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. 2001. 2001, right? Odd, right? His daughter. His daughter's now. Isn't that odd? All the people who probably wanted that job, all the wonderful lawyers or whoever probably wanted that job. That's a prestigious job. I would think. Southern District of New York, they got such a high conviction rate. I mean, they've tried some really famous people. I would think it'd be a very prestigious job. Some lawyers might even go on to say it'd be like a huge career thing. And James Comey was so lucky, just fresh out of college, 2 years after he graduates. He's trying some of the biggest names. I think it's odd. Okay, I'm going to move on, but you all get it. I personally think it's odd. Okay, so 2001, he became the U.S. Attorney for Southern District of New York. Okay, then in 2003, President George Bush appoints him as Deputy Attorney General. And then in 2013, Obama appoints him as Director of the FBI. Okay. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, another interesting thing. As of 2025, James Comey's net worth is $15 million. Now, they go on to say he made a bunch of other money from all these other businesses. And here, I want to read to you how he's made all his money. Well, his government salary was only $185K per year. So, that's not why. Bridgewater Associates claims he worked there between 2010 and 2013, making $3 to $6 million annually. So that accounts for some of it. Bridgewater Associates, hold on a minute. Let me see who they are. I don't know who they are, but that name sounds familiar. Never mind. My phone won't let me. I'll have to come back to that. Okay, so Bridgewater for 3 years makes $3 to $6 million annually. So yeah, that probably accounts for some. And then his book deals, he got $2 million in 2017. And for speaking engagements, he's paid $200,000 per event. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Now, after Donald Trump gave him the boot in 2017, he goes on to tell Congress that Donald Trump became like a mob boss, and that Donald Trump insinuated that he wanted him to go after Donald Trump's enemies. Now, that can be a little misleading, because knowing what we know now, we know that a lot of Donald Trump's enemies were playing dirty, were doing illegal stuff, breaking the law, with impunity. We know this now. So his statement is a little misleading. Obviously he wants you to go after them because they're illegally attacking him. But I guess he wouldn't. And not only that, he dropped the investigation to the Clintons' emails. What does that tell you guys? Just suddenly, out of nowhere. Very sus. Why? This is what I've been struggling with here, right? Because at that point, he already knew what he was contending with. He already knew he was contending with some very powerful people. And before he dropped out of this investigation, not lawsuit, investigation, whatever investigation it was, before he dropped out, he was pretty adamant that the Clinton emails, they were up to something. But then, not long after, he just investigation's over. Nothing to see here. Russian disinformation, everybody. And then, of course, the mainstream jump onto that because, oh my gosh, why does everyone love to blame Russia for absolutely everything? I know Russia has done some shady crap, but it's come on. It's We're gonna do this now? Like, we really think Russia gives a crap that much about us? I mean, I don't think they do. I think, like, every other country might. But, like, Russia, I don't know. They're, like, the last ones I would think care. Like, they just think that, like, Russia just loves Donald Trump so much. And I don't really think that's true. I don't think that's true. I think they're scared of him for whatever reason. But anyway, that's just my opinion. But anyways, like I said 8647 has a symbolic meaning that James Comey is well aware of. But let's see what this article says. The president's eldest son, Donald Trump Jr., accused Comey of, quote, casually calling for my dad to be murdered, unquote. Comey denied that his post was meant as a threat, saying in a statement he was unaware people linked the specific numeric arrangement with violence. Comey, shut up! You were an FBI director. You knew damn well what the number 86 meant, and you knew 47. Oh, it's like, stop. Stop it. Or unless you were just an idiot and horrible at your job. I didn't realize some folks associated with violence. That didn't occur to me when I saw it. But I am opposed to violence in all circumstances, so I took it down, he said. Uh-huh. He just found it. He just found it. On his little walk on the beach. All the other things he could have found. Obviously, if people were writing numbers in the sand, there was probably other things going on. I mean, I'm assuming. I don't know. I don't believe that he just found it, though. And if he did just find it, he knew damn well what it meant. He was an FBI director, for God's sake. Oh, Donald Trump agrees with me. Trump addresses Comey's 8647 message. Quote, he knew exactly what it meant, unquote. And, you know, if I were Donald Trump, I'd be getting pretty damn sick of it. And listen, I was never actually a fan of Donald Trump until kind of recently. And, you know, because it occurred to me something. It seems like every single one of Donald Trump's enemies who have tried very hard to take him down are some of the very same people that I talk about on this channel, who are evil, who are pedophiles, or who are involved and help pedophiles. So, I mean, it was only in the context of that I started thinking, so, you know what? Maybe Donald Trump ain't so bad. If all these evil people hate him so much, maybe he's doing something right. Or I don't know. I don't know. I hope so, because he's going to be in charge for the next 3.5 years. So I hope he's on our side. We can all hope. But yeah, there was the picture of the seashell formation that he just happened to find on his beach walk. That he's now being investigated over. I hope he's proud of himself. But yeah. So 86. Yeah, okay, here we go. 86 generally means to throw out or nix. 47 refers to Trump, the 47th president. 8746 was meant to be a silent protest to signal opposition to Trump. Online publication Distractify reported back in March, so this number has been a thing before he posted it. The numbers also circulated in posts on TikTok. Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, said Thursday evening that Comey's post was being investigated as a threat, as well it should have been. I mean, he's made it clear where his loyalties are, in my opinion. Why do I have this one here twice? Oh wait, no, there's another one. Okay, is a slang to throw out or get rid of, according to Merriam-Webster. See, here we go. It traces back to 1930s soda counter slang to indicate an item was sold out, and later was commonly used to mean to refuse to serve a customer. So, I mean, like, 86 has long had these connotations attached to the number. Okay, and here is James Comey's pride and joy daughter, Maureen Comey. Who is she? We all should know by now. She's the one prosecuting the P. Diddy case. Isn't that interesting? Now, I'm not saying she's working on the same side as her daddy, but one could only imagine. I mean, like, went to the same college, at least the William and Mary, the oldest college in our country. And then directly after that, goes to the most prestigious college in our country, Harvard Law. And I'm not trying to take nothing away from the woman. I'm sure she worked very hard for her degree. I can tell by her eyes all the work she's done. Bless her heart, she looks so tired. So I'm not trying to take anything away from the woman. And, I mean, I don't know. Thus far, she does seem to be going in hard on Diddy. But the trial is still early. And I don't trust. I don't trust it. I believe this whole trial is just become just a big, like, distraction from other things. Not only that, but, like, something just to appease the public. If that makes sense. That's what it seems like to me. Because, I mean, think about something else. She's working she's like, has the same role as her daddy had for years. Right? Like, when the other one resigned, right before the biggest trial, or wait a minute, not only that, she helped prosecute Ghislaine Maxwell. And apparently was going to prosecute Epstein. That's what I've read. I don't know if that's true, if she was part of the Southern District of New York at that time. I don't know. I didn't think she was, but I don't know. Maybe I need to do a little more research on her. But, like, I couldn't find anything too interesting on her. Maybe I just need to look a little deeper. Other than the fact that what her dad has done to help enable child predators. Just something stinks about this whole thing. And I do feel it necessary to point something out, right? It's funny how the timing of this all. Because as of like a month ago, there was like FBI saying that they're pulling all-nighters to pour through the Epstein files and to redact the victims' names and all this bullshit that we know isn't true because they could just use AI and then proofread it and just release it as they do it. They're not doing none of that. I mean, am I missing? Has any Epstein files been released in this past month? Please comment and let me know, because I've yet to see anything. I've yet to see anything about it. And in fact, I don't even see them talk about it unless someone calls them out on it. In fact, honestly, and I want to be hopeful, I really do. I'm really hoping that the reason that is maybe they're investigating some of these people. Maybe Pam Bondi and Cash are like actually opening investigations into some of these people. And if that's the case, I'll be the first to come on here and apologize to them. I really hope that's the case. But I don't know. Why is this woman, the daughter of the guy who tried to bury this all, about the Clintons. And one more thing that Jesse Waters pointed out, believe it or not. He pointed something out that he makes a very good point about these Epstein files, right? Like, we're all sitting here focusing on the FBI shortcomings and stuff, and I guess it's easy to do. But when we all forget that the Southern District of New York should have copies of all these files already. They were the ones who were preparing to prosecute the man. So why haven't they produced anything? Why haven't even they been questioned about it? Why haven't they said anything about it? And yet they're the ones prosecuting Diddy right now. Another trafficker. Or a John, in my opinion. I don't think he's the real trafficker, but he was participating, like Jeffrey Epstein, but I don't think him or Epstein were the ones in charge. Like, if that was the case, it would have stopped after Epstein, or it would have stopped after Diddy. It's not stopping. People still aren't talking about the missing kids. So yeah, they obviously weren't at the top. or we would be focusing on those missing kids. That's my opinion. But publicly, that's the last thing they want to talk about. That's the last thing they want to talk about. And another person I want to give credit to, Tom Homan. He did an interview a couple days back where he's once again talking about what's happening at the border to these children. In fact, I give Tom Homan a lot of credit because, like, he's the only one out of this administration so far who is consistently bringing these kids up. He didn't just bring it up during the election season. He's still bringing it up. You notice all the rest of them stopped bringing it up once Trump was elected. Like, they don't talk about it anymore. Period. They don't talk about it anymore. Tom Homan's the only one who's still bringing it up. Like I said, I'd like to think it's because they're investigating or they're trying to find them. I hope so, guys. I really hope so. I mean, I guess really what's more... and if that's the case, that's all cool. I guess what's really disappointing more than anything is that journalists not only aren't asking about it, but it's like they're actively sidestepping these questions. Why? Aren't they supposed to be journalists? They prefer to focus on things that are boring? Why are they actively trying so hard to sidestep this? And that's because the mainstream media is still very much in the CIA's pocket. And you'll notice a lot of these influencers out there, you'll see it in real time. Them becoming, like, compromised. You see it in real time. Like, I'm not going to say any names, but there was, like, some YouTubers I was watching, right? And one of them in particular was very, like, active during, like, the Free Britney movement, to Free Britney Spears, and, you know, was talking about all these powerful people, like Lou Taylor and TriStar, and like, calling out her parents, calling out the court system. And then it was, like, all of a sudden, out of the blue, this same YouTuber changed his tune dramatically in this video, like, out of nowhere. Then he's, like, using conservatorship words all of a sudden, like, well, maybe she should have been evaluated before she was released, or, you know, to make sure that, you know, maybe she should have stayed in. And it was like, and like, to those of you who kept up with that situation, you know that's like, what? Coming from someone who was like a huge Free Britney activist, suddenly switching their tone like that. And it's not like we learned any new information. This was just out of nowhere. And there's been other YouTubers I've seen switch their tone about certain topics suddenly out of nowhere. And you know what? Maybe they didn't get paid. Maybe they were just threatened. I mean, you know what? To be honest, that might just be enough to never talk about something again. I mean, it's not enough for me to not talk about it, but, like, I mean, I guess someone who, like, I don't know, maybe if they had kids or something, I mean, who knows? I mean, I guess you would do or not do anything they said. So I understand that. But the money thing, I'll never understand. I'll never understand. But, no, I won't. And it's like, to those of you who do accept bribes and money, is it worth it? Is it worth it? At the end of the day, is it worth it? Anyways, that's all I had to say about this. Oh yeah, I did want to say one more thing, about, Victoria Harvey. And because, you know, I didn't want to react to that interview. Oh God. I mean, I did want to, but, like, I didn't, because I'm sure Piers is weird, and I don't know what their rules in the UK is about fair use, so I just, you know, talked about it. But when Piers brought Virginia Giuffre's dad on, oh my gosh, if you guys should have heard some of the horrible things this lady was saying, like, with no shame whatsoever, no remorse for this poor man and his loss, and just trying to humiliate him and his daughter. Like, she was saying horrible stuff. Like, Oh, yeah, when she was talking about, well, Virginia had all this money from the settlement, but yet she couldn't fly her family out. And then Piers was like, why would you say it in such a disparaging way? She said, well, I'm not. It's sad that she didn't help her family. Like, that evil, conniving woman was actually sitting there. Like, I know what she was doing. She was trying to, like, try to plant that little dissent between Virginia and her family. That little seed. Like, but what she doesn't get is that people aren't typically as psychopathic as she is. And I was so proud of Virginia's dad. I don't even think he heard everything she said. But he went on there and just like, and he didn't even realize he did it. Showed what a horrible idiot she was. He said, well, no, I don't have much, but I can get by. I can buy my own plane ticket. He said, I don't need much. And she's just sitting there, like, what's like looking to the side and like kind of rolling her eyes a little bit and like obviously very uncomfortable with the things that the man was saying. And oh my god, just some of the things this woman said, she was awful and rude. She was like she was horrible. And I was so grateful for those two lawyers at the end of the show. One of them told her, lady, I think you need to take your tiara off for a moment and come to reality. Because none of your excuses make any sense, any logical sense. And then the other lawyer said, she said, yeah, honestly, honey, if I was Prince Andrew, I would remove you from this role ASAP. Because she said, you're just not doing it. She said, you're doing a horrible job. And she was. She didn't even make any sense in her arguments. Like that picture of her photographer friend, like so obviously like fudging how Andrew was standing to try to make it look like and confuse people. And then she said, well, they never saw the real photo. I mean, it would have had to have been real short photo. Where are the legs? Well, then when her father came on there, he said, well, it was originally an 8x10 that she sent to my grandmother. And we didn't know about the views. Because, I mean, if you think about it, when they let her take that picture, I can imagine the situation. Like, please, can I have a picture of you? I want to send it home to my family and everything. And, and they probably thought it was harmless because they thought Virginia was like on their side. They thought everything was all cool. So, I mean, I can see that happening. And then her dad, and then Piers was like, well, when you had the picture, did you know what happened? He was like, no, we had no idea. We just thought that she had just met a prince with the guy she was working for. My heart goes out to Virginia's father. I don't know about their past or their relationship or anything like that. But he's standing up for her now that she's not there to stand up for herself. So that's worth something in my book. Because he knows in his heart that she was murdered. He said that. And to be honest, with her gone now, he could have easily just thought, if he didn't care or whatever, he could have easily just thought, well, she's gone now. But, like, no, he's going on Piers Morgan. Trying to tell us, no, she didn't kill herself. She was just too strong. He said, you don't understand. It's like she's been fighting the royals, Epstein, and Ghislaine all by herself this whole time. She didn't tell her dad that her and her husband were separated. And I can see where he's coming from. He thought that maybe she was trying to protect him. And yeah, that's totally plausible. She knew her life was in danger. Why would she purposely involve people that she truly, really loved? I mean, I totally understand. I wish she would have thought better, but, like, I understand. I probably would have done the same thing. I mean, Lord, I'd do anything to keep the people I love safe, wouldn't you guys? I can't think of anything I wouldn't say or do to keep the people I love safe. So that's why, like, when you, like, listen to this P. Diddy trial, and you hear some of the things that Cassie says in her messages that they're trying to discredit her for, really put yourself in her shoes, right? She tried to leave the man multiple times. She can't. He's just too powerful. He knows where she's at all times. He could just pop up without, he's like, all got, like, all the cops and all the public officials in his pocket. Like she didn't stand a chance to get away from him. And I just think about, like the way that, like, when they were showing those text messages of her, like, saying, like, I can't wait for a freak off. It was obvious in my mind what that was. Like, surely we can't be this blind. Like, do you really think that she was gonna constantly just, once she knew that he was a control freak the way he was, do you really think that she was gonna say or do anything to keep him from hitting her, to keep him from hurting her, to keep him from harming people she loved? She would have said and done anything. And she knew damn well that if she sat there and acted all the time like she didn't want to do it, she would probably get beat to within an inch, like she already did when she did act like she wanted to do it. Like, people just need to understand how abusive people are and, like, how this trafficking works. Like, do they think that you see, this is why it goes on the way it does. Because they think that, like, they see a prostitute on the street approaching men and stuff like that, that they're consenting to doing this, right? But they don't see that pimp there standing in the shadow, watching the whole thing going down, just waiting for that woman to mess up or say something wrong so he can go up there and just beat the crap out of her. They don't see none of that. So it's like they actually have this in their mind that people who this is happening to, they have it in their mind that they're going to, like, be sitting there shaking in the corner and crying like, please no, please no. And, like, that's only, like, a very small part of it. Most of this whole thing is very the opposite. Like, these people, it's like when you're kidnapped and stuff, and, like, you got, like, a knife to your throat, and you start acting like like you agree with everything they do just to get that knife off their throat. You know, like, everyone, some people will sit there and cry and plead, some people will fight and run away, some people will sit there and appease them. And usually those are the people they look for. Because those are the easiest people to manipulate and put into mental slavery. Because they were already groomed for it a long time ago. I hate talking about this stuff because people are so insane. Like, at what point, like, and I heard Big Homie CC say something the other day, and he made such a good point. He's like, this age of skepticism is so bad because, like, the kind of evidence and stuff and whatever that people don't believe or will deny right in front of their face, it's the same type of evidence that's enough to convict people in court. But yet, until they're convicted in court, no one wants to believe it. And even sometimes then they don't believe it. So it's true, though. It's like, people just don't believe this stuff anymore. And maybe in a way I get it. It's like, why would you want to believe this is true? Like, this is awful, horrible stuff. And then on the same hand, why would the people talking about it, saying what happened to them, like, lie about it? Why would they want to be associated with any of this crap with these powerful people? Like, do they really think that it's easy for these women to go, like, if it is all a lie, like, why would they risk their lives for a lie? I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said, this is just all stuff I've been thinking about. It's just stuff I've been thinking about. But this P. Diddy trial, I don't really like it. I feel like we're all, like, everyone who's spending their time going there reporting on it, they're being played with. I mean, they're playing in our faces, guys. Like, and I'm not saying he's not going to face justice. Maybe he will. That doesn't change the fact that this is still a big distraction. A deep state maneuver. It's the deep state prosecuting him. Same people who don't want us to see who Epstein was involved with, same people who don't want Epstein's associates to face justice, are the same ones prosecuting Diddy. Think about that. And I hope he never sees the light of day. I'm just saying this isn't what you think. Whether he gets off and spends no time, or whether he's there for the rest of his life, it doesn't change. This is one big performance. Like court TV. Even though it's not being filmed, it is still a big distraction. That almost makes it worse. People being stuck on their phones. What's happening? What's going on? What's happening? What's going on? Ugh. Poor Cassie. And this is something weird. She said something they didn't follow up on, which I thought was very telling. And then I'm going to end this video. She told the prosecutors, this goes much deeper than freak-offs. That's what she said. This goes much deeper than freak-offs. Much deeper. What does she mean by that? When she means much deeper, does she, like, how can you get any darker than that? Did she know about the children there? Is the prosecutors not letting her talk about that? I don't know. That's just my speculation. I don't know. But you remember, oh crap, what's Tanea? That's her name. She was talking about that party she went to at P. Diddy's, and now normally Tanea, no offense to Tanea, I have no judgments against the woman, but normally I wouldn't exactly call her a credible source. But that story she told about P. Diddy's party, I was inclined to believe it. Now, I don't know if I believe that she was as appalled as she said she was, because I don't think she was. She seemed more concerned about just not being associated with it, and that she didn't actually care. She even said, she said, well, it's none of my business. I just didn't want to be there. So it's like, you know, she didn't care. I mean, like, she only cared if she was tied to it. Like, she didn't care it was happening. Just that she was there around it and could be implicated in it. That was all she cared about. That was all she cared about. So no, I'm not saying she's necessarily a trustworthy person. But I am saying she went that far to admit that. Why would she lie about this whole thing? And don't forget, before P. Diddy was even being investigated or being sued for any of this stuff, she briefly mentioned in that Soft White Underbelly interview, she said, yeah, I went to P. Diddy's house and I almost got trafficked, girl. I had to escape. She said that before any of this happened, so I tend to believe what she was saying. And if she was telling the truth, P. Diddy's sons are definitely involved, and his family's involved, and Cassie's right. It does go way deeper than freak-offs. It goes way, way deeper than freak-offs. Now, hopefully the prosecutors are just gearing up for the sex trafficking charges, but I don't know. That all those freak-off things, and the fact that he was recruiting prostitutes, forcing Cassie to do it, beating her if she wouldn't do it. I mean, damn, that's... So, I'd like to know why they didn't follow up with that statement that she made. It goes much deeper than freak-offs. I don't know why they didn't follow up with it. I'm not holding my breath about it. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say about it. And just remember, same people prosecuting Diddy are the same people bullshitting with us about Epstein. And all of that. Alright, stay safe.